Imagine this. You buy a brand new flagship phone, and within just months, it already feels old because the software update you've been waiting for is delayed or buggy. That was the story with One UI 7 last year. But here's the surprise. Samsung might be flipping that script completely with One UI 8. In fact, if you own a Galaxy S24, Z Fold 6, or Z Flip 6, you could be running Android 16 by the end of this month, weeks earlier than expected. That's huge, and here's why it matters. Software updates aren't just about new icons or wallpapers. They're about security, performance, and whether your $1,000 phone feels like it's keeping up with the times. Samsung stumbled badly with One UI 7, rolling out late updates and even shipping stable versions that caused problems for everyday users. It shook a lot of people's trust. Now, with One UI 8, Samsung seems determined to prove it can deliver smooth, timely updates at a global scale. If this schedule holds, Samsung is not only regaining credibility, it's setting the standard for Android updates outside of Google itself. So, what exactly is happening? Samsung kicked things off in South Korea a couple of days ago with the Galaxy S25 lineup. That was expected. But the real surprise came when Brazil's update schedule leaked, showing that devices like the Galaxy S24 series, Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6, and even mid-range models like the A56 5G could start receiving One UI 8 as early as September 25th. That's not October. That's not later this year. That's literally days away. And the rollout doesn't stop there. According to the schedule, older flagships like the Galaxy S23 series and last year's Fold 5 and Flip 5 are slated for October 2nd. Go back further, and the S22 series and Fold 4 line join in by October 6th. Tablets aren't being left behind either. The Tab S9 family and even last year's Tab S8 are part of the roadmap. By mid-October, even fan-favorite budget phones like the A53 and A33 5G will be getting their turn. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but that's Brazil. What about me? Here's the thing. Samsung's update schedules in major regions usually move in sync. If One UI 8 is starting in Brazil on those dates, you can bet Europe, Asia, and possibly even the US will be right on its heels. In fact, there's already chatter that US Galaxy S25 owners might see stable Android 16 updates this week, with the S24 and foldables following before the month closes. That's lightning fast for Samsung, especially compared to last year. And this speed isn't just about bragging rights. If Samsung pulls this off, it could erase the bitter taste of One UI 7's rollout. Remember, that version looked promising, but ended up being one of Samsung's messiest updates in years. Multiple delays, buggy builds, and frustrated users across the globe. Getting One UI 8 out quickly and smoothly would show that Samsung has learned from those mistakes. It would also make a strong case that no other Android manufacturer, not Motorola, not OnePlus, can match Samsung's scale or consistency when it comes to updates. That's especially interesting when you consider Google. Pixel phones always get updates first, but Pixels are a small slice of the market. Samsung, on the other hand, sells more Android phones than anyone else, and if it can roll out Android 16 across flagships, mid-ranges, and tablets within weeks, that's a level of coverage nobody else is even close to matching. It's a big reason why Samsung continues to dominate global sales charts despite stiff competition from cheaper or flashier Chinese brands. Of course, there are caveats. The word starting in the update schedule means some devices will get the new software on day one, while others might wait a week or two as the rollout phases in. And there's always the possibility of a last-minute delay if something critical is discovered. But even with those factors, the timeline is impressive. So what does this mean if you're a Galaxy user? If you've been holding on to a Galaxy S24 or Z Fold 6, you could be days away from Android 16 features like improved customization, smarter AI integration, and hopefully better battery optimization. If you're on an older flagship, your wait won't be long either. And if you're rocking a mid-range Galaxy A-series phone, Samsung is showing once again that it's not just the premium buyers who get treated to major updates. Personally, I see this as a make-or-break moment for Samsung's software reputation. Last year's stumble with One UI 7 gave competitors an opening to say, see, Samsung is slipping. But if One UI 8 lands as smoothly as it's being promised, then Samsung will have turned one of its biggest weaknesses back into a strength. It's a reminder that while hardware gets the spotlight, software updates are what keep your device feeling new year after year. And honestly, the idea that a Galaxy S24 bought earlier this year could already be running Android 16 before October even begins, that's the kind of surprise we don't usually get in the Android world. If Samsung can make that the new normal, it's not just good news for Galaxy owners, it's a win for the entire Android ecosystem. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.